I think we are live in Joyful Shakespeare Society. It's nice to see you, even if you're watching this as a recording, just making sure everything's connected. We're looking pretty good. It's so nice to join you. And I've been asked a question by Leslie, who is working on Queen Margaret in Richard III. How do you slow down your verse speaking? I think this is a great question, and this video is going to be aimed particularly at people who are maybe a little bit more experienced with Shakespeare, which I hope will be quite a few of you out there. People that are aware that we're kind of aiming to get that flow in Shakespeare, right? And this is definitely a thing that happens when people are more, as we get more experience. I actually think we tend to go faster. We get that rhythm of the iambic is carrying us through. We're driving through to the end of the verse line. And if you're a bit more experienced, you probably know what I'm talking about here. And what tends to happen is that the horse runs away from us. So if I think of the iambic pentameter as this kind of galloping feeling, like dee-dum, 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 there's a reason that we end up going faster. And it's because iambic rhythm has momentum, right? It really carries us forward. And so it's very common once we start to get connected to that, and if we are feeling clear about what we're saying, we do often take off like a galloping horse, and then it feels like the horse is in control and not us. So I want to share with you some of my favorite exercises that I do to slow people down. Now, this is also great if you just tend to be someone that gets excited and talks fast. If maybe you have anxiety and that tends to make you go faster, or if you feel like maybe you just feel a bit out of control with what you're saying, maybe it can be due to nerves or excitement or whatever it is, you feel like you're maybe not landing on things. It's also really useful if you're someone that tends to kind of skim over the text. So someone that maybe just like, you're just saying it and people are like, well, I'm not really understanding the point of what you're saying. Maybe you're getting feedback from a director saying like it's not really landing, or maybe you feel like you're not making enough out of the poetry that's there. This can really help you take back control, find a lot of power and groundedness in what you're doing. So these are really fabulous exercises for everyone to try. So no matter what level of experience, you definitely can do these ones to help you take control, and they're very simple. What we're going to be doing is working through the body to do this. And when I say that, what I mean is that we're going to use our body to try and find the technique. Now, when we do this, it's not going to be your best acting. So while you're trying these exercises, I want you to set aside, whether I'm connecting to the character. I want you to give it some energy, some effort. So that might be, you stand up and you sort of run on the spot to get some energy going, or maybe you do it loudly. So you've kind of got that commitment and that energy moving forward. But I don't want you to be judging, oh, but that my acting was bad. That's okay, because that's not what we're concentrating on right now. We're concentrating on flow. So focus on one thing at a time is a great thing for you to be doing anyway. And also, side note, as I bring up the text that I'm going to work on as an example, if you find this sort of stuff useful and you want to advance yourself, you can come and join me for my Summer Shakespeare, which is starting very, very soon. And it's really perfect for this kind of thing because we work with different levels of experience. And for those people that are more experienced, this is the kind of thing that we will do to make sure that it's not running away from you. It's not just about here's the basic stuff you know about Shakespeare. It's like, well, what do you need to do next to make sure you're balancing it out? Because Shakespeare is always a balancing act. So if I'm looking at a little bit of Queen Margaret, and sadly I can't share my screen right now because I'm on Facebook Live and it's stupid, let me just say. So I'm looking at what were you snarling all before I came? So this is Act 1, Scene 3, so if anyone wants to follow along. And so we're going to drive to the end of the line, which ends at came, and the next one ends at throat, and the next one ends at me. So this is the text. Let me read it through just basically so you can hear it, and if you have a copy of Richard III, you can bring it up, or if you're working on something else, I encourage you to get your copy. And I want you to choose about just your copy of whatever you're working on. Just bring it up in front of you so you can do this exercise with me on whatever text you're at. Just bring it up, and I want you to just read out 3 to 4 lines, like maybe a sentence or two, right? So you should be able to get to a period or a question mark or an exclamation mark in the first kind of chunk. So let's just read it out for sense. I'll read mine and you read yours. Let's all do it together. What were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat and turn you all your hatred now on me? Just a couple of lines. Okay, so that was 3 lines from me. And what I'm going to do here, firstly, to just get me in touch with driving towards the end of the line, and some of you might already be doing this, I'm going to just emphasize the last word of the line. I like to just like kind of punch the air just on that last word or couple of words so I can really make sure I'm driving through, getting the energy going through. What were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat and turn you all your hatred now on me? Right, you notice I already went so much faster, which is exactly what I mentioned before. We get this energy going through and then we're like, whoosh! Which is awesome. It's so exciting, right? It creates this urgency, which is exactly why iambic pentameter is so powerful. But the audience can feel steamrolled. So next step, let's slow it down. What I want you to do, so I'm going to give you a couple of variations, because what happens here as we start to try different exercises will connect differently with different people. And it's really just a personal thing. It just might be like, oh, I really liked that one. I want you to try all these exercises and I want you to just take away whichever one really resonated with you, and then you know this was a great fit for me. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I call ballet arms, which I'll try and just lean back a little bit here so you can kind of see me a bit more. I'm just kind of, and sometimes I call them rainbow arms, but I'm kind of like stretching my arm up above me. I've got my hand, I've got my hand kind of like this. I'm thinking a little bit like a ballerina for a moment. And the reason that I like to think like a ballerina is I want you to have some support through the torso like a ballerina does. I think they call it port de bras, which is like the support and the kind of the framing of the body, not just kind of like this. It won't help you connect to the breath if you do that. You can't just have an arm that's separated from the body. So sitting up, thinking about that kind of support through the torso, and then when I scoop, I'm breathing in, and I'm going to really slowly paint that rainbow, or wave my ballet arms over to the side over the course of one line, and then I'm scooping my ballet arm over the next line. So each line gets its own scoop. So I'll do those 3 lines. Have a go with me, or you can watch and then have a go after. You can always pause this if you're watching this in advance. In the future. So, what were you all... Let me try that again. I always want to say all snarling, but it's snarling all. Let me just correct myself. What were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat and turn you all your hatred now on me? Now, I've still got a sense, I got excited, but you can see, you probably saw just then, right? I went slower, but I still got a sense of here I start and here I finish. There's a landing point. There's energy and breath. I kind of scoop and gather myself. I support. As I start the line, I'm thinking scoop and breathe, going over, and then I land. I have a stopping point. I've made it to the end of the rainbow, right? And that's the last bit of the line. That helps me control. This is basically, we're thinking like singers. We're thinking phrasing, that I have got a phrase that goes la 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 la, and that's how long I've got. So I need to have enough breath and enough energy, and I need to have control, and it goes that long. Now, of course, you can go slightly faster, slightly slower. You could challenge yourself to go even slower. If you are someone that tends to go very fast, do it as slow as you can. How slow can you do it and still make it sound kind of truthful? Again, it's not going to be our best acting. When I say making it truthful, what I mean is you don't want to sound like a robot. You don't want to be like, what were you snarl? That doesn't help you, right? So how far could I go with this? And I'll just do one line, an example. How much could I stretch it without it sounding kind of ridiculous? So finding that balance, how far can I push it? How slow can I go? What were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat? Right, so that was really, that's really stretchy, right? And I might not want to go that stretchy in performance, but what usually happens when we push ourselves to the other extreme is that we find then a middle ground. If my instinct is to power through, go really fast, doing this stuff slows us down a lot. Now, I want to show you another exercise that you can try. So if that one's kind of not resonating for you, you've got something else. Let me take a sip of water. this one is, we're going to have a huge imaginary wad of chewing gum. And I want you to imagine that you're going to pull it out of your mouth very slowly. Now, this has got a bit of resistance. Everything that we're doing, you know how I said, like that ballet support, everything that we're doing has a little bit of effort to it. Not, ideally, we don't want tension, right? We're finding, again, that balance. That's why Shakespeare is such a good challenge, is that we're finding that balance of this needs energy. It needs a bit of effort going in, because this is designed to be maybe in a bigger space, or it's designed to have some control or presence to it, a little bit of, you know, that power that a lot of Shakespeare actors have. But I don't want to be like locked up. So I'm finding a little bit of effort. So when I'm stretching my imaginary chewing gum, I'm really using my imagination here, and I'm really thinking like, okay, it's hard, it's resistant, it's resisting me, and I actually have to pull it. So I've got a little bit of tension in my fingers, just like a healthy amount of tension, a little bit of tension through the arm, maybe a little bit through the back, you know, a bit through the core. Not a lot, but just enough to kind of give me some, against the support and energy going through. Now with this one, I'm going to really try and stretch it as long as I can. And so I'm going to go even towards the ridiculous a little bit for a moment. So really lengthening the vowels as long as I can. I want to see how far can I stretch my chewing gum all the way to the end of the line. And then when I get to the end of the line, I'm going to quickly grab it again, same piece of chewing gum, by the other hand, and keep stretching it. So there's this sense of suspension and continuity. So I'm going to do 3 lines. Feel free to watch and then pause me and have a go, or otherwise have a go with me. What were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat and turn you all your hatred now on me? Gosh, that's fun. Oh, Margaret's she's such a fun character to play. I mean, she's a terrible person. She's fun. Okay. So have a little bit of a play with that. How far can you stretch? How far? Now, one more exercise before we finish. Now, this one can be a struggle for people. And what's great about it, if you do commit to it and you can kind of find your way through, what's great about this one is that it can help you spot if you are holding back at all. And this is usually through fear that we end up kind of protecting ourselves sometimes. What we're addressing in this next one is the flow of vowels, the flow of sound, the flow of breath. A lot of people actually kind of don't allow their vowels to lengthen. And that can just be a habitual thing, or it can be because we're kind of protecting ourselves. So sometimes it's hard to know whether that's the case. But if you are someone that gets quite anxious, or you tend to be very judgmental, if you're in your head a lot when you're acting, this could be you. So I'll see if I can demo that. Let me see. Sometimes it's hard to tap into. So the feeling of kind of like shortening things, holding back the sound, maybe emphasizing consonants but not the vowels. And it kind of means that we're sort of end up almost swallowing the sound. What were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat and turn you all your hatred now on me? That can sometimes happen as well. When I did that just then, it reminded me of sometimes when people have been doing screen work, or maybe you've been working on a lot of self-tapes and you're like, oh man, I don't want to be too big. And so you're trying to pull it back, and what ends up happening is that you kind of swallow that sound, or you trap it. So we want to get this flow. So what we're going to do is we're going to say all the vowel sounds just like you would say them in real life. So if I've got the first line, what were you snarling all before I came? I'm only going to say the vowel sounds and no consonants. This often sounds like you've just been to the dentist and your mouth is not working. So that's a really good way to do it. It's just kind of like, you know, imagine that you've just numb your mouth and you can't articulate, your tongue's not working, and you're just going to say, so that was, what were you all snarling before I came? Now that was a little bit disjointed. I noticed, okay, I had a little pause there before I went to, were you all snarling before I came? That's okay, maybe I want that because I want the separate what. But for this exercise, I'm gonna set that aside for a sec. I'm just gonna see how smooth and long I can make those vowels. Right, let me see if I can make it even slower. Try it with me if you're having a go with your text. So just the vowel sounds exactly the way that you would say them if you were pronouncing them, but you've just been to the dentist. And if you're more experienced, so for people that are watching this that are more advanced, you're like, yeah, I'm getting it. What I want you to think about is varying your pitch so you're not always doing the same pitch pattern. You might have heard those two examples that I just did. I was kind of hitting different notes. So like a singer, I'm not always singing the same pattern here. Let's say that this singer, in Shakespeare, I think when we're singing, it's actually more like jazz because we get to improvise a little with our rhythms and our notes. So just like singers, but we're jazz singers. So you playing around with different pitches. That is probably enough to get going on. There are actually so many different exercises, and this is what I love about this kind of thing is really we learn these things, but it's really important to get some guidance at some point, whether it's from a director or a coach. You can come and work with me, just to go, well, what is it that I need to use? Which ones are working for me? Try it out at home and kind of also trust your gut. Okay, that one feels like it's working. Great, keep doing that for a while. But also sometimes we don't even know that we're going too fast, right? So if that's you and you're like, well, I'd really love to know what I'm, where I can improve or how I can actually target these things that are driving me nuts, come and join me for Summer Shakespeare. There's so many of you that I think would love it, and you might not have seen my notifications. So shout out if you want info, or just reach out to me if it's a finance problem. We can always do payment plans and that kind of thing. I love you so much. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for that question, Leslie. I hope that helps you, and I'll see you guys all very soon.